Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, Mysterious Voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. Today it is Poetry Thursday, so I want to talk about some poetry of interest. Today's poem is all about the soul and the body communicating to one another and complaining about one another. I am referring to a dialogue between the soul and the body by Andrew Marvell. For those who don't know, Andrew Marvell was a politician, a satirist, and a poet-writer living in the 1600s. He wrote frequently criticizing the monarchy as well as religion at the time, which is significant because the UK was going through a lot of religious upheaval in the 1600s, and I think he also played a part in a couple of the wars that were taking place at the time. So a pretty fascinating writer, and I really like the poem that I stumbled across today. So without further ado, let's talk about this poem. I will read it, do a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. A dialogue between the soul and body. Soul. Oh, who shall from this dungeon raise a soul enslaved so many ways, with bolts of bones that fettered stands in feet, and manacled in hands, here blinded with an eye, and there deaf with the drumming of an ear, a soul hung up as 'twere in chains of nerves and arteries and veins, tortured beside each other part, in a vain head and a double heart. Body. Oh, who shall me deliver whole from bonds of this tyrannic soul, which stretched upright impales me so, that mine own precipice I go, and warms and moves this needless frame, a fever could but do the same, and wanting where its spite to try, has made me live, let me die. A body that could never rest, since this ill spirit it possessed. Soul. What magic could me thus confine within another's grief to pine? Where whatsoever it complain, I feel that cannot feel the pain. And all my care itself employs, that to preserve which me destroys, constrained not only to endure diseases, but what's worse, the cure, and ready oft the port to gain, am shipwrecked into health again. Body. But physic yet could never reach the maladies thou me dost teach, whom first the cramp of hope does tear, and then the palsy shakes of fear, the pestilence of love does heat, or hatred's hidden ulcer eat. Joy's cheerful madness does perplex, or sorrow's other madness vex, which knowledge forces me to know, and memory will not forego. What but a soul could have the wit to build me up for sense so fit? So architects do square and hew green trees that in the forest grew. In terms of analysis, there's a little bit worth talking about here. The first thing that's worth noting is, it's in the title, the narrative. It's sort of a dialogue, a point and counterpoint between the soul and the body, with the soul saying that it's stuck in a body that feels so much pain, because the body feels pain in general, and it's stuck with the head and the heart and things that feel in that way, and the body is saying, this soul is so tyrannical, it warms my body, but a fever could do the same, and it makes it so my body will never rest, and then the soul replies, my body is destroyed. I am left to feel the pain, and all of that. And the body says, oh, well, you think that's bad? Well, what about joy or sorrow or pestilence and all these other stupid emotions that you make me feel? And all the sin that we experience as well, that doesn't feel good, and it wrecks my body and causes ulcers among many other things. So these two components, this imaginary conversation between the soul and the body, shows quite a hilarious sort of difference between the two features and how one affects the other, if you believe in a soul and all of that. It's very interesting in that point and counterpoint in a way that I think you end up with AABBCCDDEE style rhymes. So it kind of flows. It's very smooth. It's more of a humorous type poem than anything else. And I think there's a sort of there's a consistency in the line scheme as well. Oh, who shall from this dungeon raise a soul enslaved so many ways, with bolts of bones that fettered stand. So it's each line is it has 8 syllables. So I don't think that's it's octameter. It might be, or something like that. But it kind of flows. There's a rhythm to it, and there's a perfect sense of perfection to the structure of the poem, which I think adds to the overall enjoyment of it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the dialogue between the soul and the body by Andrew Marvell. A pretty solid poem. Not really a lot to discuss, but there is certainly a lot worth noting with the structure and with the even the dialogue. It's a very interesting and novel type of poem, one that you don't normally see, but it is certainly fun to read, and I highly recommend that you go check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and possibly have a discussion about this. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more people can find out about this poem, Poetry Thursday, or this poet if they don't know about either and they just want to start talking about these sorts of things. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and body and soul based travels. Farewell.